guys, by the title and the thumbnail, you already know what we're doing today. I recreated this look by Kvn.Long on Instagram. He's a bomb makeup artist and he did this look on Ari. And you guys, my clients ask me to do this look on them all the time. Like, I've done different variations of the look. So this time I figured I would film it. For my client, she had a photo shoot and she wanted this look. But before we get into this look, I did want to go over some tips for you guys. I definitely feel like you should use a liquid eyeliner. Don't be too hard on yourself if you can't get it to be even when you first do it. And also do the rhinestones at the end. It's going to save you time. So to start the look off, we're starting off with eyebrows first. I'm going in with the Benefit Brow Pencil and I'm using the shade 3.5. Not doing anything special here. I'm just going to fill in her brows. She naturally has full brows, so yeah, I'm just gonna fill them in. There's not really many sparse areas, but wherever it's sparse, I'm just gonna fill it in, and I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. Once I have her eyebrows filled in, I'm gonna go in with my Tarte Tape Shade Concealer, and I mixed two colors. I'll have it on the screen and it'll be listed down below as well. I'm gonna mix those two colors just to get my desired shade. I'm going to go in with some Anastasia Beverly Hills brow gel. Then I go in to base the eyes. I'm just going to do a pretty even thin layer. And I bring it up to the concealer underneath her eyebrows. Now I'm going to go in with this Juvias Place bronzer. No, I'm using the tan palette. And I'm just going to use that lighter shade to go in and just lightly contour her eyes. I'm just going to really just sweep that in so that it looks nice and soft, but I do want her crease to be slightly defined. If you want to, you can go in with the even darker shade after you lay your initial brown down, but for this particular look, I didn't need to. I just needed a soft contoured eye. Now we're going to get into the fun stuff. I'm using a Sephora precision liner and I'm just going to do a regular basic wing. I'm going to start on the outside and sweep my way in, making sure that my liner is going upwards. I'm going to bring the liner in just a little bit, but I won't bring it all the way to her inner corner. If you look closer, you can see her eye is really, really jumpy and slightly watery, so I'm not going to bring the liner all the way in. And also, if your client is experiencing like a really like jumpy eye, just put a little bit more pressure on your eyeliner to avoid any like ridges or lines that aren't straight. Now to do the line on the top, my hand is blocking, so I'm sorry. But all I'm doing is just kind of like an upside down winged liner. I'm going to connect the lines and just do my liner. It's just kind of like flipped. This part is actually like, I'm not going to lie, it can be pretty hard. And you do need a steady hand to do this as well as patience. Make sure your client is not talking when you're doing this. You need complete stillness. So I'm just taking my time and bringing my line over, trying to make sure that at least my line on the top is as straight as possible. And really, you just want to follow your client's eye shape. You're just following that where their eye naturally creases, and you can go a little bit slightly above that. Now I'm going to go in with my ingot gel liner, and I'm using the shade 95. And I'm going to use that to clean up any lines. As you can see, the right eye, she's doing her own thing over there. So I'm going to use the ingot gel liner to help me straighten up my lines and do, you know, fix whatever I need to fix. Now I'm just going to take the same gel liner and just put it in the inner corner and bring it slightly up to where we laid down the brown shadow or your bronzer color. I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other side. On this side, I am going to focus a bit more on cleaning up my lines because as you can see, the liner on the right side was just a little bit wonky. Me being right-handed, the left eye always looks better. It is what it is. So I'm just trying to clean it up as much as possible so that it looks pretty even. Okay, so I'm just taking a step back and looking at everything. And when I was looking at it, I decided that I wanted to make my lines a bit thicker. This is for a photo shoot, and for the theme of her shoot, I just needed the line to be a tad bit thicker and pronounced. So that's what I did. I started with my right side first, and then I'll just do the other side off camera. So once I made my line thicker to see what it would look like, I just go into the inner corner and I'm just using a light champagne eyeshadow and I'm placing this in the inner corner. You can absolutely add eyeshadow or pigment on top of your gel liner on the lid if you want to. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It really just all depends on the look. We're moving on to the face now. I'm going in with my Charlotte Tilbury serum. And I'm also just going to list on the screen what I used for her skin prep. She does have more of a dry textured skin type. I'm moving on to foundation. I'm using a darker shade on the outside of her face, a lighter shade on the inside of her face. And yeah. For concealer, we're going in with a pretty bright color, but it won't look too bright once everything is all blended in together. I'm also going to take this time to start to define the top of her eyebrow, and I'm using the same exact brush that I used from the beginning. And yeah, I'm just going to shape out the front of her brows and blend it upwards, trying to work around them baby hairs, child. Them baby hairs is in the way. So yeah, I'm just taking my time, making sure. I do like to thin her brows out when I do them because she naturally has really full eyebrows and I don't like them to look too big. So I'm just going in with the Morphe Continuous Spray and I'm going to spray her down a lot. Like I said, she does have dry skin, so I just want to make sure that like we're putting that moisture in her skin through every step possible. And I'm just going to go in with my Real Techniques Cheek Instant Pot Brush and I'm going to blend that foundation into her skin. The foundation has dried down a bit, so you do need to use a little bit more like wrist work to make sure like you're getting the foundation to move a little bit and blend in. And yeah. Next thing I did was just pull the concealer down. I'm not adding any extra product to her skin. I'm just slightly pulling that concealer down more towards the center of her face. I'm going to take the extra product that's on my brush and use it on her chin and around her mouth as well. Then I'm going to take my Real Techniques setting brush and I'm going to use that to begin to blend out the concealer underneath her eyes. I also used it for her chin as well. All right, I'm gonna go back underneath her eyes just to finish up. I'm not necessarily adding like a brighter concealer because this is for a photo shoot. Um, I don't want the under eyes to be too bright for this particular look because it's just not necessary. So I'm not necessarily going in with more concealer for brightening. I'm just going in with more concealer for extra coverage. And I also added my cream bronzer and contour as well. And I'm using the Black Opal foundation sticks to do that. I'm going to blend the contour and bronzer first and then finish blending the concealer in. But this time I'm going to go in with the Beauty Blender to do that. Now I'm going to go in to set her under eye, and I'm using a mix of powders. I'm using the Huda Beauty kunufa, and I mix it with banana powder from Benai, and I'm going to press that in underneath her eyes and also around her mouth and chin. Now it's time to set the whole face. I'm going in with the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish Powder, and I'm using the shade Dark all around her face before I go into bronze, contour, and blush her skin. For bronze and contour, I'm using the Juvias Place. I also use Juvias Place for the blush as well. It'll be, of course, listed down below. I'm going to take a little bit of powder on my beauty blender just to scope out her cheekbones a little bit so we can like just pronounce her face shape and make her cheeks appear to be a little bit higher and more pronounced. So I'm going a little bit heavy on the blush because this is for a photo shoot, and with the studio lighting and the camera flash, blush and bronzer can really get washed out. So obviously that's why I'm going heavier on the blush than I usually would on just a regular client. For contour, we're going to do just a very light nose contour, not to really contour the nose, but more so define the nose. And I'm using the same exact color that I used in the contours of her eye. I'm going to set her face into the Morphe continuous spray. I'm going to spray her down pretty well, and I'm going to just let that settle and marinate into the skin. While that's settling into the skin, I'm going to go in with my lip liner, and I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury lip liner. I believe this is number 4. and I'm just gonna line her lips. I'm not really gonna like overline, but I am going on that rim to like make her lips appear more pouty. We're going with a peachy nude shade, and I used a cream sheen lipstick from MAC. The color will be listed down below. Now we're going to go back into the eyes. It's time to lay the glue down for the stones. So I like to create a map for my glue. And I do my dots, and the size of my dots will indicate the size of the stone. So where the bigger circles of glue are, I know I'm going to put like a bigger gem right there. So yeah, that's all I'm doing. I made my map, and now I'm just going to go in and do my gems on each eye. For her bottom lash line, I'm going to go in with this P. Louise black base. I'm going to use it in her waterline, and I'm also going to tight line with it, as well as smoke out the bottom lash line just to make it a bit more smoldering and dramatic. Adding more blush. I already mentioned earlier why we're going ham on the blush. All right, so I sprayed her down with the NYX matte setting spray. Like I said, this is for a photo shoot, so even though she does have dry skin, I still need to make sure that I'm using a mattifying setting spray just to ensure like it's gonna last, and you know, it'll help with the oils and the sweat underneath all that heavy lighting. I'm gonna push the spray into her skin. I did mascara on the top and bottom off camera, and this is the finished look, you guys. I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I hope I helped you guys out on how to get this look. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.